Well guys, Morbius is almost with us, which means the next entry in the Spider-Man franchise that Sony is building without Spider-Man is almost here. Or not, because the director of the upcoming film confirms that Spider-Man does in fact exist in this universe. Which Spider-Man though? Hey, look over there! So this news comes at us directly from CinemaBlend, who got to interview the director of Morbius, Daniel Espinezzo. Hopefully I said that right. And he was asked about where exactly in terms of the greater Spider-Verse this film exists, or if it's within the confines of the MCU. Well, he had an interesting answer. He said that this all exists in the Marvel Universe, where you have, for example, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Tony Stark, and Morbius, but they're all slightly different because they're different in tone. And this is part of the bigger Spider-Verse and also the bigger Marvel universe, and that they are approaching this not in the same way that the MCU is approaching a bigger universe, and that there are certain elements here that remain in place. He also did say that yes, a Spider-Man does exist in this universe, but what version of Spider-Man, who it is, what he looks like, anything related to him, well, there's nothing more to say on that. So again, it kind of leaves you hanging and dangling in the wind, if you will. And again, this is a smart approach. We already know, just by watching everything we've seen so far in relation to this film and Venom, quite obviously, this takes place in a Marvel universe. It takes place in the Spider-Verse. A Spider-Man has to exist by the nature of what we saw in Spider-Man No Way Home. What version of Spider-Man, though? You be the guess, take a pick, it could be anything. And as I've went over in other videos, there's obviously Oscorp there. So not the MCU, but MCU adjacent, as they've said before, maybe. Again, I think in due time, we're going to figure out exactly what this means and how they're going to connect everything. And when we get to it, I think we're going to have a clear picture of it. So yeah, Spider-Man exists in this universe. Are we going to see him? Probably not. Are they going to tease who the Spider-Man is? Probably. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we still get the murderer thing, but also we get a Tom Holland type of Easter egg and maybe an Andrew Garfield, and obviously we already got the Maguire in there with the Daily Bugle, so, take a pick. It's one or the other or a new one, an amalgam of everything, but they're not very much set on it, I don't think, and that's kind of fine in this case.